mention that tonight's meeting is a special meeting for the board. We had our public hearing the other night, so there won't be any public comment tonight. Tonight, basically, the board can discuss what was said, and I guess we're here tonight to make sure or to make any changes to the budget that we seem deemed necessary or want to change, so. Anybody?
Well, I think, like we discussed last time, we need to figure out about this from Dick. If we're gonna be charged for this stuff, we need to put that in our budget. Where the money's gonna come from, if we're gonna be charged for services. We
I was
have,
hoping Bill Farber would be here.
we have the
I don't
budget
know if
for
you're here
that.
tonight.
I've had no contact with Stav about it. I assume I mentioned this section 32 of the law. Did you check with him? Is it, all you kept saying was an opinion?
I did not check with Bill.
Well, it's just a very big case. It's pretty self-explanatory there of what the law is. And I may have been wrong, excuse me, on the interpretation part of it as far as, it says with the exception of cost of general town government. I don't know what that means. But it does say, where a town highway superintendent performs work on town property which is not part of the town highway system, the cost of such work must be charged against the appropriate item in the general fund, rather than the highway fund. It says must. Now, Scott did say this morning, that I did overread the part where it says, under the recreation department, do you have a copy of this? Did you get
I
that?
have a copy of it. I think I can hand it down to the other one.
It says it must, but it may not, this other wording that says, I may submit a bill.
That's for the recreation department.
That's correct.
It says the town board may require a highway superintendent to perform work for the recreation department, and after completing such work, the superintendent may submit an itemized bill.
But then it says, then it says it must. And that's why I was hoping Bill was here. I'm not here, and I realize this is all the town, but the highway department is footing all the bill. In the past, the general fund did pay for any materials. But the labor for all my men comes out of my account, all the pay and the benefits. And we've had some sizable projects for the rec parks, for the water and the sewer. And the water and sewer, I think that's the big going of contention here. I don't think so much, now that I've read this, and I say I'd rather have Bill's opinion on it. But the water and sewer, I don't think I'm even allowed to do that without the town board passing this section 32 of the town law, authorizing me to do it, and then to do it, but it has to be a chargeback from the water or sewer back to the highway.
Have you ever had a problem going over your budget when you didn't have money to do what you need to do?
I don't follow what you're saying.
Well, have you ever found yourself in a situation where your budget was not high enough because of us asking you to do things for the town? Taxpayers are flipping the bill, whether it's coming out of your budget or the general fund.
Well, I'm not disputing that. The problem is you have a budget to operate, and I have a budget to operate.
Yes, and my question is, have you ever gone over your budget because of us asking?
Well, it's quite obvious, I'm not gonna go over my budget if the highway department has already bought the equipment. We don't go out and buy equipment. The highway department is paying the men weekly, and has taken this load. I tried to get compile a list, since day one, since I've been here, I have a daily log. I know exactly what's been done, where it was done, how many hours were done on it. I'm trying to compile that for you. But such things as, like I spoke to Staub today, the tractor that you people use for general fund purposes, for the winter months to plow, needs new front tires. I can't see where the highway department should put new front tires on it for general fund to use it. If you want, I told Staub, you want to put front tires on the tractor, you can use it.
And I suppose it's definitely possible, but my point is, no matter what, it's the taxpayers who are paying it. And we're supposed to be into these shared services, that's something that,
Okay,
you know,
I'm glad you brought that up. Shared services is exactly what it means, shared. It doesn't say free services. What is the general fund giving to the highway department if it's shared service? If the highway department built the building in West Chazy, for the rec park, right? What did the highway department get back for that?
do you really think that we wouldn't help you with something if you needed the help? I mean, bottom line is, it's
Well, shared services are,
taxpayers that.
Kathy, I'm not arguing that point. I've been here 30 years. I've been here long enough to know.
Oh, no, I'm not,
I'm not,
disagreeing with you at all.
I'm not arguing this point. All I'm telling you is, first of all, is it legal? Is it legal to do it without
Does
this?
any other town do this?
I've contacted 9 different towns. They all work together. They said that if the highway department works overtime for them, they never charge them a nickel. They think it's absolutely ridiculous that we're going through this. 9 towns they called. Why, they said, I don't know why you're doing this, Dick. Why are you bringing it up at this time? But why didn't you bring it up 4 years ago when you got elected?
I didn't know it existed.
So why do you need this revenue on your bottom line? Why do you want to show it? I mean, it's all coming from taxpayers anyway.
But you keep going back to the taxpayer stuff.
Well, they're charging.
I have a budget to operate, and you have a budget to operate. You're in charge of that budget. Actually, you're in charge of the whole budget. But you could chip down part of the highway budget if you chose, the town board. So, you know, it's, all it is.
So why aren't other towns doing the same thing?
What do you want me to tell you?
I mean, nobody does this, and I think it's just, I don't think it's needed.
You're
I don't think
completely
it's
wrong
needed.
in that. Other towns do get paid if they work in water and sewer. They don't, they have water and sewer districts. They have their own equipment, they have their own men. We have nothing.
No, the tractor Kathy questioned you about, is
I don't
it
think
solely
you
used, is it solely used for highway?
No, I think,
Or solely used for,
he's talking about the backhoe. I think.
No,
The tractor to plow the yard.
Oh, I'm sorry.
no,
Yeah, I'm talking about the tractor.
what are you talking about? What tractor are you talking about?
The plow,
The blue tractor.
and the water and sewer road.
All right, is that a piece of highway equipment?
Yes, it is.
All right, is the backhoe part of the town highway department?
It's all, not part of it, it's all highway
Okay.
department.
When we purchased the backhoe, if I remember right, at the town board meeting, you mentioned one of the reasons for purchasing it is it could be used for these, the sewage and water department in case we needed it. And I think the town board at that time made their decision on possibly the way you presented it to us.
Has it been used? I've installed water meters to your
Yes.
old store. I
Yes,
fixed
but now you're
many-
telling us you're not.
It's because of the law. If you don't like the law, change it.
No,
All I'm telling you is if
I'm
if
just
this
trying
is
to
legal,
find-
and I told Staub today, if you can get,
I
for
didn't,
me, to cover my rear end.
I didn't come here to
Buddy,
argue with you.
listen
I
to
come
me,
to
listen
get
to me.
answers.
Listen to me. If you can get it in writing from the comptroller's office and from the Association of Towns, that I don't have to do this, I'm clear, and we'll go back to happy neutral, okay?
What about past practice? We've been
Well,
doing this for
you
how
ask
many years?
them. Ask them if it's legal for past practice. Squatters' rights, you know, I
Past
don't know.
practice comes into play with a lot of things.
Pardon?
Past practice comes into play with a lot of things.
I don't think in this, Kathy, I'm not, listen, I thought Bill Farber would be here tonight. I apologize for missing the last meeting, but I was ill, and, that's, the long and the short of it.
But
I have informed, the maintenance man, if anything breaks, and he needs it, bring it up, it'll be fixed. We're not gonna squabble over, something, if it's something that's a planned project. According to this, until we find out what it is, if you can't get Ed Yarrow to come down here, or somebody else to do a project for nothing, right?
But this is all equipment owned by the taxpayers. You might
Now,
say it's a highway department.
every time my men are working at a special project, or a general fund project, or water and sewer project, we're taking away from highway work. I know you don't think it's important, but we accomplish a lot in a day. And if we lose 2 or 3 men out of the crew, it's a deterrent.
Has it created, where your men had to work overtime for that, because of that?
Actually, the men haven't, but I have. In cases that, for a job to finish for the sewer or the sale barn, livestock, yes. I haven't, or the men haven't, but I have.
Could you just explain to me the benefit of this practice? What would be the benefit? I mean, you presented a budget for your department, and when you did that budget, I'm sure you had allowance as far as the things that have been done in the past by your department. And, I mean, it's not really like there's gonna be any real exchange of funds. So what's the true benefit of it? Is it just to more or less put more
really-
capital in the
It
highway?
has to be looked into legally, that's all I can tell you. And I would have thought that you would have had Bill Farber look at it and give his opinion on it. That's what we got an attorney for. What did Association Towns tell you? Go ahead and do as usual? Is there no holdbacks, just lay back and do what
She
you
said
want?
it's an opinion based on other laws.
That's
But
what
it's not,
opinions are.
it's not actual, it doesn't actually state, this law says that the highway department must. It's an opinion based off other laws.
That's
Opinion
exactly
from the
right.
state controller.
Stuff that has been taken to court can be.
But I don't think that the state comptroller comes in here looking to make sure that we do this, because they would have done it years and years ago. And if they would have said, they would have came in and said, you know what, you're not doing this right, because anything the highway department does should be paid by general. They don't come in here and look at
Well, if
it.
you don't put it down, you don't.
There's not a
have it.
town that
And like I say, if
does it.
listen, if it's free and clear, it's a new point. It'll go back to where it was. I'm covering my position, that's all. Now that I know about it, if I didn't know about it, like I did in the past, it didn't bother me, and I don't think I've ever refused anything you've ever asked.
You haven't. There was never a question until
I-
recently. And then when you came out with this, it's like, what's going on? Why was this brought up? Why all of a sudden?
So, is this gonna be a savings to the highway because you're not doing these things?
Is it gonna be a savings to the highway? Well, it's gonna be, manpower is gonna be put to use, and if that tractor is parked, that backhoe is parked, it's not being worn out. I think that's the idea behind this.
Right, so
All
where's
that
your-
stuff has to be replaced.
Yeah, so where's your saving? What I'm trying to come up is somebody asked, we gotta figure out how we're gonna put this in our budget. What I'm asking you is, how much is it gonna save? Because you're not gonna be doing these things. And we can put it in our budget that we're gonna be now plowing
Well, yeah,
water, sewage, doing side, whatever.
I don't know, what you expect, what projects you have. That's gonna determine what the cost is.
No, but you have done it in the past. You
Yes,
must have a rough-
And now that you mention it,
You must have a rough idea how much time and equipment time you use
I do, I got it
during the
right,
year.
right to an hour, but I don't have it total for a year. I do have it, I told you, I keep it
Well,
really
you
low.
come up with a rough estimate there, I'm sure.
Well, you people requested the work, you come up with a rough estimate.
Well,
Somebody asked me if it'd be
you're
done.
the one that's putting a value on the work you do. So it has
You're
to
right.
come from you.
You're right, you're right. If you don't ask for any services, the charge would be zero. Simple as that. But, and
if we
they
do-
may be zero, they may not be a charge. If this is not a legal binding thing that has to be done. That's all I'm saying. And the way I read it, after I read the second thing, general fund, other than a specific item line item may not be a chargeable account, that I don't have to do that. But sidewalks, we spend a lot of time, a lot of equipment, but full
Let's go
manpower.
back to sidewalks. Whose responsibility is it to maintain the sidewalks?
General fund.
I don't think so, Dick. Want to read this?
I can't read, you read it.
Okay, this is the general powers and duties of the town superintendent, highway. The town superintendent shall, subject to the rules and regulations of the Department of Transportation, and this has been verified with the Association of Towns, made and adopt, as provided in this chapter, maintain all sidewalks in the town constructed by the state adjacent to state highways, and all sidewalks in the town constructed by the county adjacent to county roads, and when authorized by the town board, you can cause the removal of snow therefrom, and the cost therefore shall be paid by the miscellaneous or other town funds. But it's your responsibility to do the sidewalks, not ours.
Well, I
This
don't
has
know.
been
See,
verified with the town.
Listen, stop, you just discovered something tonight.
No,
See? So how did I come up with this? You just discovered? See how
no,
that
but
is? You
I
read
just want to
something.
make you aware that we're not even responsible for
But
them.
don't
That's your
do them then.
responsibility.
Don't do them.
I know,
Does
you
it
all
say
say
sidewalk
was.
district? Does it say sidewalk district?
No, I verified with her, you are to maintain, it's your responsibility.
What do you want done to them?
I'm just saying that.
What do you want done?
You all say that you're helping us or using your men to do our work. That's not the case. This is your responsibility.
You're saying it comes out of my budget?
I don't say
Repair?
that. All I'm saying is that it's your responsibility to maintain the sidewalks. I don't know,
With
I haven't
no
verified.
no recourse to recharge the town?
Oh, I'm not
Okay,
saying
I
that.
don't know either, stop. Keep reading.
I'm just saying that that is your responsibility. Don't tell us that you're lending us your men to do the sidewalks. It's your responsibility to do that.
No.
And that's been verified with the Association of Towns. It's not our
That- You may be
responsibility.
right. I'm not gonna argue that fact.
Well, I just want,
You may be right.
that's just one of the facts.
But we're all on the same mission to benefit the people of the community. And I don't think it should be a matter of who has to pay what. It's a matter of providing the services that we're obligated to do and what we're
I
elected to
agree.
do
I agree.
and appointed to do.
And it's as simple as getting this clarified. And until it's unclarified or whatever, we can leave it as is.
But what's, the only question that hasn't been answered is, what's the true benefit of doing it?
I don't know, but that's the law. Apparently, that's the way it's gotta be. I mean,
But is it gonna change your budget?
it would add to my budget from the general fund,
Would add revenues to his budget.
yeah.
So we could lower one of your accounts and put it back in the general fund
Right.
to offset it?
Do what you wish.
I mean,
Yeah, that's
Now,
why
what
I
about,
asked.
like the fire departments? I mean, is that the highway responsibility to keep those plowed?
No.
No,
Just something that has been very nice to do.
it's something
Yes.
that we've always done.
no.
And
For fire
and
safety.
because that's,
If you wish it don't be done,
no, I'm just
Yes, it
asking,
would.
all I'm doing
It's
is asking.
important that you do it. I mean, it's keep the residents safe and
And like the water and sewer roads going
I
into
plowed,
those?
I plowed them, since I've been here, up until, Tom took over, and he does it with the tractor now. We made him plow for that little blue tractor, and he does it on his own. But in the past, I plowed this office, I plowed it on weekends, for the port, to get in, I plowed the water and sewer, plant,
Now, is that something you plan on continuing doing, or?
well, I don't have to, Tom's gonna.
Tom does,
Yeah,
and he does both the water, the sewer, and you do the fire departments?
yes, yes, yeah, well, Tom does some of it, depends who gets to it first.
Is this gonna create less work for you?
It's not gonna create less work. And-
Well, if you're not doing the things that you've been doing in the past, it's gonna cut down on your hours.
No, I don't see how it's gonna cut down my hours. I think the thing in here is in this section 32, states back to if it's a manageable thing to do by the highway department, it doesn't take away from the normal duties.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. What I'm saying is that if you don't allow the special district sewage and water and sidewalks and stuff, is this gonna create less work for you?
how's it gonna create less work? I've done
Well,
it.
if you're not doing it, you were doing it in the past. Now you're telling us you're not gonna do it. It's gonna create less work for you, isn't it?
I guess you can boil it down to that. There's always
No, I-
work to do, there's always work to do, so I don't know what your point is.
Well,
There's always point,
If you
I'm not gonna
spend-
go sit with my feet up on the desk.
no, if you spend 4 hours plowing
I'll
the
spend 4
districts
hours plowing
out,
someplace else.
you're gonna,
Okay,
okay.
plow intersections, you've all seen it, plow, clean the intersections with the little trucks, so the big trucks don't have to back out.
Well, we gotta do that anyway.
Pardon?
I said, we gotta plow the intersections.
I'm talking with plow, my plow truck, we've been plowing with a pickup truck, not with a big truck.
Yeah, I know.
Do we have any ideas to what projects we might be foreseeing in next year?
The only things that we really, that I can recall is help with the bucket truck and putting Christmas decorations up.
I already told you, the bucket truck,
It's inspected, it's gonna be,
it will be hopefully tomorrow.
okay. Now, is that something you're gonna charge us to use or planning on?
I told you there would be no charge for that. I told you that this morning.
We didn't know that before.
Then what type of item, what type of projects are you saying that we need to budget for? I mean, give me an
Major.
example.
Major projects.
Such
So if we
as-
wanted help with the building that's gonna go up over the sewer plant, to put the poles in,
That'll probably be,
or is that gonna be all contracted?
I'm sure that's gonna be contracted out.
But a project of that magnitude, if you were to help us put the poles in,
Dig up a water line, the water line breaks or sewer line.
Well, like I said, that's gonna depend on this if I can do it legally.
But let's say it comes back and they say, yes, you have the legal right to do that, and so that's what you plan to do.
Exactly
So
right.
we need to know, if we have a broken water line, are your intentions to
Also,
charge?
now listen, I've got a little tinker toy for a backhoe. You don't replace water lines with a backhoe, you have to have an excavator.
Okay, Dick,
Something
let's
that
make
doesn't fall
this
in the
easy,
hole.
rather than being, downright,
Jobs
disagreeable.
like the station drive is not a replaceable job for a backhoe, it's just you need an
Let's say
excavator.
we need you, Dick, to use the backhoe, that little tinker toy backhoe that you have. What would you charge us?
The scenario you just gave you, if this was not in effect, there would be no charge. If
But
I didn't
I'm
have to
saying
charge.
if that was in effect, let's say.
I don't
it comes
know, I
back-
don't look at it, have to
So
look at
then,
the,
how can you ask us to be prepared to, say, okay, if this is what you want, we'll go along with you. Fine, we will pay the highway department. How can we budget for it when you can't even tell us, give an estimate as what you plan to charge us?
because I assumed that this was all done through Bill Favreau, and he was looking into it. The staff knew about this for a long time.
And see, I would have assumed that you would never bring something like this to the board, because bottom line, whether you like hearing it or not, it's coming out of the taxpayer's pocket. And I can't see any taxpayer looking at this and seeing, I see them saying, how ridiculous.
Kathy, tell the trooper that we go speeding and you get caught. How ridiculous if you break the law.
Let's compare apples with apples. I'm talking about, you want us to pay you for the big projects.
I don't want you to pay for anything.
Well, you
If
must,
it's-
because you
if
presented
it's
it
legal,
to us.
you don't have to.
What's our deadline on this budget?
Yeah, maybe we have some time where we can talk to Bill Favreau, and
November 20th.
how soon can you get to Mr. Favreau so we can get some input?
but we still probably need an hourly rate or,
That's exactly what I'm
All I
asking
can tell you
for.
is, Clinton County puts out the bid every year for rates. If they have to hire a backhoe, that's what they pay. They put out like Ed Darrow and Sons supplies bids, Purnell supplies. I would probably use that rate, or if the state has a rate, and a cheaper rate for municipality, use between municipality and municipality.
What's the least amount and most amount we can expect? You must have a ballpark figure on that.
You're probably looking between $30 to $70 an hour for the backhoe.
Backhoe and operator,
No.
just the backhoe?
Yeah.
And then
I don't know
how much
what, I don't know what the labor is, I have to check if I have to charge the full labor of the individual, or a modest rate, or,
But you have, back at the office, you have, as far as what the average, you said you had it all written down, so then you could give us a general idea that this is how many man-hours
that was used
that
so
was
far.
used so far,
I sure
and
can.
what was used for equipment.
Yep. I've always charged the material, to whatever department it was, whether it be
That's fine.
water, sewer,
We don't understand that.
yeah, I'm not saying, you're not gonna eat that unless, you've always paid that. And like I said,
But the
if
idea
it's not,
we
if
should
it's
be-
fine, if it's fine and dandy without this, it's back to what it was. If you need something and we can help, we will. But the highway project comes first. And I'm sure you understand that.
We've always
Yeah,
understood
we've
that
always
part.
understood that.
We've always understood that part.
So I don't see where the issue is, if you keep coming back to me, it's here in writing. If I'm wrong, if this is wrong.
Are you afraid that the comptroller is gonna come and look at our books and say we're not doing it correctly?
Let me tell you this,
Is that
if
what
he
you're-
does, and it's something I know about, shame on me. It's bad enough if I don't know about it and I get caught doing it, along with you, the board. That's as simple as that.
When's the last
If
time
they
we
say
had
don't
an
worry
audit?
about it, 1998, audit, you said?
Yeah,
I think it was 98, wasn't it?
No. Give me the date, Jerry. I was going through it when your
2004,
dad was, well, we were going through
2003.
that. It was another issue, but it involved part of the audit, and that was,
I said, there may be nothing to this. It's something I, reading the other parts of the law, and I come across this, and I call Association of Towns, and the way she talked, I can't remember the lady's name, Lori
Lori Mintz or
Minston or something. She seemed very adamant that it had to be done, but I don't know if it's something that's a mutual agreement that it doesn't have to be done. I'm more than happy to mutually agree that it doesn't have to be done. But if the state says it has to be done, I think it's quite obvious, you don't just thumb your nose and go ahead and do it.
so this is something you didn't know anything about whatsoever prior to us working on the budget.
No, I didn't. No, I did not.
I think we need some legal guidance on this before we can go ahead, and I
I
think
suggest
that,
you use a few more days and do your bill contact, and we'll have
And
another
we're gonna
meeting.
need also numbers from Dick, though.
Yes.
And we
And
gotta
what
have
was
some
used
numbers.
for
That type of a
tax.
system will still stay in place. Whether or not there's a cost involved with it, just to verify everything. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Just to be on the up and up with what was done, so if somebody comes back 2 years and says, you were doing this project that you weren't supposed to be doing, it's there signed by 2 people that authorized it to be done.
But if you can tell us the last year and a half, 2 years, what we've.
I can tell you
used-
exactly what,
Right.
but I
What we've used.
Yeah,
started
that's
copying
right.
today, Jack, but I didn't have enough. I gotta go back to my daily
Mhm.
log and get each one of them. It's every time we do a project, just mark down the number of man hours, the machine that was there, the dump truck, saws, chippers, whatever was there. And the hours we put in. Not for a back charge, but for a daily log. That's all. Just for what we've done each day, which is
Now, what types of jobs can
Well,
you
you
help
should
the water and sewer district with? You said your
most
machine
anything but
isn't big
maintenance,
enough,
most anything but
But a
maintenance,
main.
water mains.
so you can put a line into a house or replace, or no?
If
Is
you
that
get
what you did
lead-
at the station, or?
No, I didn't do that.
You
They
didn't
had to
do
get,
And
Luck
outside
product
contractor
forward.
do that.
Yeah,
Fuller
get a
did it,
contract.
Fuller did it. Because see, you need something large for a big leak like that, because it keeps caving in all the way around it. And with a rubber tire machine that doesn't have any reach to it, you're gonna end up in a hole. And the excavator has a 360 swing, so you can keep a truck behind you to load or unload, so.
Dick, just something small on that tractor though, I mean, if your tractor needs tires, why wouldn't you put them on anyway? Why wouldn't?
I will put them on this spring, but I'm not gonna take it out of my tire account now. Why would I put them on, that tractor, the
So
tractor
you're
all winter?
you're asking us to pay for the tires now, if we want them on now.
Don't you think, you think that's too much to pay back for a shared service? You get a tractor for a set of tires? Next year, it's not gonna need tires, you won't have to put tires on it. Last year, you shared service with a stop, didn't you?
For what now?
For the tractor.
Oh, yes.
What'd you do to it?
What do we do with it? What do you mean?
Yeah,
We snowplow with it.
yeah, but what'd you do? What'd you do for the highway department?
It's, to me, it's all our equipment, it's the taxpayers'
Stop.
equipment.
thousand.
We all-
You
we
put a
all-
handle, you put a handle control on it, because it was broke. And it couldn't be used, and we were not gonna use it, so you said, you'll pay for it out of general
We
fund.
needed to use the tractor, so we had to get it fixed.
Yeah. And what did I say? Get her done. I said, you know, it's not a matter of budget and pay, we're all taxpayers. And, you know, I say, I've been here long enough through the government process of it and through the assessing. I know what the taxpayers are, I've dealt with them. And I'm one, you know. But when I have a responsibility for a budget that I sign my name to, I'm gonna have as much control over it as I can. I realize the town board can overrule it. To what extent, I don't know, but that just, you have the same thing as this point about the highway superintendent's pay. Every year you could change that. You could drop it in a year. If a person wasn't doing their job, you could drop it in half. You're not stuck with a rate for the next 25 years. But that's another ballpark.
Okay, it's intentions of the board. We're gonna call another meeting, get in touch with Bill.
Well, I have one other question to ask Nikki too. What's the highways thoughts as far as for the wood boiler this winter? Is it gonna continue to be up and operable, or?
Of course.
So that will be
Of
in
course.
operation all,
Yeah.
okay,
It's just operating now.
okay.
Sure.
So we wouldn't have to budget any additional funds for
No.
fuel oil or anything?
No. I just wanted to point, if you're referring to the point of what I'm making is what the highway department does with the general fund. That's not the highway's responsibility to fill the wood stove. I'm not saying I want the maintenance man to go fill it. We're gonna fill it. It's just so you know, that's all. But it will be utilized the same as it always has been since it's been installed.
Any other parts of the budget that we want to discuss?
Well, if we're going to the
Well,
salaries, if we're gonna do 3%, then I think we need to go to every single line that everybody that got a raise and do 3%. Not even any of them off to 500 or whatever.
On the bigger ones.
Then what about the ones that did not put in for any raises?
Then they shouldn't get any, if they didn't bring for one, but anybody that's receiving one,
That's fine.
that asked for more, I mean, some of them were even numbers, I think it should be an even 3%, if that's what we're doing. Not an even number. And I think, I mean, that being said, the amount that we're gonna change this budget isn't gonna change 0.1%. So if people were unhappy when they came here, just over Dick's salary, or if they were unhappy with the whole budget, maybe we need to look at a few other things in here that we're spending money on that will change a number in the budget. Cause what we are doing by changing everybody's rates to 3% isn't gonna change the budget by
And,
0.1%.
In my opinion, I mean, from the other night's meeting, that was the only big concern they had, was the,
Well, I know, but I mean, Mrs. Jefford stood here and, you know, just had us, you know, we were incompetent and irresponsible for proposing a budget like that. You know, if that's the way
I don't
they
think it was the
felt.
whole budget, I think it was just.
That's the gist that I got.
I got the gist that you.
We should be ashamed of ourselves.
Yes, exactly.
That's
That
exactly the
in
gist
In
I
this
got.
hard time
It
that
was,
we.
That
it
with
was,
Pfizer was closing
Yeah.
and,
it wasn't the total budget though, it was just,
well,
It
I mean, the
was,
total budget is what's gonna affect people,
Mhm.
not the $1,000 that we just trimmed off of it. So, I think we need to look at some other lines.
I
You know,
mean, some
We've done some recreational things, we've added the ski program, you know, we give $3,000 to the hockey, you know, we do the swim program, I mean, are those things that people in the town are willing to give up to lower that budget?
Well,
you know,
I had a couple-
decorations or you know,
I had a couple things as well, you know, something that may help reduce the budget, because I know Dick was
the historical
saying,
signs, the markers.
how many roads
you
of
know,
highway are we gonna do this year, budgeted? Was it 2 miles,
$6,000 to $7,000 contract?
3 miles?
Because we've been way off in the past, even the higher prices we're in, so.
But, you know, if we reduce the number of miles of new road that we put in, you know, what type of decrease would that have? You know, rather than do 3 miles, we did 1 mile of road.
I don't think anybody could complain about my budget. My tax rate is lower than when I started. It was 270 something a thousand, now it's 212 a thousand, I believe, something like that. My tax rate, the highway department has gone down.
Right.
Down.
The other thing is we have the code enforcement office. I mean, if we look at the salary for him plus the secretary, I mean, that's almost $14,000 right there, and we want to purchase a $2,000 software that's going to be utilized. You know, I think what we probably should do is go line by line again over everything, and like Gary said, if we have to make some cuts on programs.
You wanna do it tonight? You wanna do it? When do you wanna do it?
We're here.
Yeah.
I mean, if that's the feeling that I got.
I would like to make one point. The night that this was being done, at the end of it, I asked that my request be withdrawn for a raise. And Mr. Spiegel said it's too late, it's done. Correct? So
We have those on.
don't blame Dick Lewis, okay? Don't blame Dick Lewis. And the other statement I want to answer to that I wasn't here for is that I was afraid to come or I was embarrassed to come. I have never been embarrassed. I've been working for this town for 30 years. I got a lot of pride in my work, and I take responsibility for my work. I'm not embarrassed, and I'm not afraid.
And I think your job shows that you have pride in your work too, Dick.
Well, I thank you for
Also,
that.
I
really
don't,
do.
But that statement, out of all the other ones, everybody has their rights, but for that individual person to make that statement was completely ignorant, and it just shows his mentality.
and I echo that because, you know, to come to a meeting once, since I've been on the board and say that we were irresponsible and not look at any of the positive that we've done in this budget, I was offended also, that we should be ashamed of ourselves. I'm not ashamed of myself. For anything that I've ever voted on, I will go back and correct it, if we can correct it or make it better, but I'm not ashamed of myself.
So something
We
we
sit
wanna
up
do is
here-
go through here and see what we wanna adjust.
I have the time.
You're gonna do that, or you're gonna get in touch with Bill on the other part?
We're gonna get in touch with Bill and the other
Well,
part.
we'll have to have another
So you're
meeting.
still not gonna vote on it?
No.
You know you're working on this tonight?
That's
But at least I think the next time we can just come in and make those,
Exactly, and make those
that one
steps.
adjustment.
They want to pay them, they pay them.
Exactly.
that should be all we would have left to do when we come back to adopt it. Right?
Do we wanna set another meeting time, or?
And Dick, you can come up with a figure for us?
Hopefully I won't have to bucket. Hopefully Sal will find out through Bill Favreau that this doesn't have to go through.
Yeah, but we're working on dates, and we're gonna have to,
Oh, I'll get your figures, but you're the one that's come up with the project. I'll let you know what I'll find out what I have to charge. If I don't have to charge in, I won't charge in.
Style, I know you're not having public comment, can I make a suggestion?
No, because if we have one person speak, we're gonna have to have everybody speak. I wish I could, but we had our public hearing, and I understand that, I mean, we get into a big discussion, and we can't do that tonight. If we're gonna go through this, we're gonna be here for a while, so. Go ahead, where do you wanna start?
First page?
Yep.
You can take my schooling out, the 1,200.
take mine out too.
That you can be proud of.
Everybody's was taken out, oh, only mine.
If nobody gonna be going to school. in New York.
School in New York.
New York,
Right.
that's basically what it's for.
Kathy's is in there.
Kathy might be. Yeah.
You got an extra copy of the budget there?
Maybe we'll get some.
I had another meeting prior to this one and I didn't have time to go get it.
Hey, you got another extra one? I can follow.
I can go run some off. You got some?
Now, I've got one more.
You want this one? Totally. So we're saying that we want to adjust anybody that's gone for a raise to 3%.
Right.
Exactly. It's gonna be
Correct.
exact, so.
Yep.
So I'm not sure, we'll have to adjust mine because mine was 500 and I think it was just a hair over 3% or something, but we'll just adjust it to whatever 3% comes out to. Can I calculate or I'll tell you? I know Susan's okay at 3%, Niels is okay at 3%, I believe. We have to check the assessors, I'm not sure about the assessors, I think it was 3, but just to make sure.
Did we want to keep that level as last year
What's that?
for the assessor?
Do you have a calculator?
Pardon?
Leo
Do
does.
you have a
Leo does.
calculator? What is the 3% on the salaries?
I'm gonna go grab my calculator if you don't mind.
Get it now.
Okay, so that'll bring the assessor down to 31,827. And on mine, we'll bring it down. To 14,935.
Let's see.
Yep.
What the Sues become?
I'm sorry?
What the Sues become?
Sure,
It should be 3% because hers
Yeah.
Oh, was it all?
hers was okay.
Okay.
So definitely 3%.
Um,
Mine's on the page 2
Now,
on the top.
Okay.
for, on page 3, that equipment that was for that laptop for Pat, I believe, correct?
Yeah.
Yep,
we
so
put
she
in there?
in the field.
Is that something that we want to keep? It's way at the top of,
I mean, it's
Under equipment.
not a matter of like or death to keep it.
I think it was a matter of making her job easier and more efficient, wasn't it?
Out in the field. Everything was done on paper and in files, and this way she could input it on the road and keep obviously everything in a computer instead of tons and tons of paper and files, so.
Maybe we can come back to that one.
We did keep the, codes enforcement officer, we kept him level. We didn't do anything.
Can we reduce the amount to reimburse the county? No, I'm just kidding.
For election. For anybody that was not, or that was here last time, to run the elections now, went from $6,500 a year to $20,000 that we have to pay the county for elections
And
a
that's
year.
just a guessing.
That's preposterous.
For the
Just a
new,
guessing.
for the new voting, and we have no control over that, we have to pay them
That's their
$20,000.
budget, not ours.
And it was 6,500. So, that right there is nothing we have control over.
Yeah.
Break out the purple ink.
That's crazy.
No, this is,
Nick, you had the increase in traffic signs, correct? Because you
Yeah.
gotta replace a bunch of signs?
That's mandatory.
Okay.
So I think everybody should know that as well, is that for the mandatory by the state is
Okay.
$10,000 for signs, because they have to have the breakaway signs now, right, Dick? for what you
Breakaway
said?
and high density, yeah.
So all of our signs have to be replaced that are
That's
in the
for the
ground.
people that can't read, stop sign ahead, so they're gonna put a little
when they hit
red.
it. When they hit it, it'll
Next,
go.
next they'll have to put them in Spanish. You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, so right there, there's $30,000 that's uncontrollable.
On page 5, the contractual expenses went from 11,000 to 16.
That's
State
contingent.
insurance,
That's contingent, we're allowed to put, I think it's 10% of our total budget in contingent, which is used to cover any place where we're short, we have a shortfall. We've carried that 11,000 for quite a few years.
He's done it. Sure.
We're gonna be changing highway superintendent down to 3%, is that correct? To bring to 44, 344, 50. Three, 44,344 and 50 cents. So 44, 45, whatever they,
45.
44, 3, 45, say. Sidewalks, we got at 7,000, do we wanna do
I'm
anything?
gonna go back to code enforcement,
Yeah.
Code around that, okay, go ahead.
page 6.
Yeah,
Page 6. We had in there special projects that would be for additional software for the issuing of building permits. I believe that's what that was for.
Mhm.
And then we had the assistant at $10 an hour, 4,000. Before, I mean, I think since that position is open, I think what we should do is go through the interview process and make sure that the new person's coming in is gonna have all the qualifications to operate the computers and do everything rather than having a secretary.
Correct, I agree 100%.
So I think we should probably eliminate those two things out from the budget.
What if the candidate
How did
that we
you-
want
Yeah, but
doesn't have it though?
Well, then they're not. a
Then they're not qualified.
When you advertised this, I didn't see the ad. Did you specify the rate of pay and,
No,
no?
because what we wanted to do is just find out what we were gonna go through tonight is the applications and see who we want to bring into the interview. Or, I mean, there's some really, really good qualified candidates and there's other ones that are.
Because I think we need to define the job description, hours,
Yeah.
and rate of pay.
Yeah, and I mean, even, I would put a question mark next to what the pay would be, because, I mean, we could reduce that salary as well for a new candidate coming in.
We also don't wanna put it so low where we don't get somebody.
They work one day a week, or at least that's what our current one,
Well,
one
we
day
want
a
to
week.
change
no,
it.
they work more than one day a week.
Um,
Well, office
Currently,
hours, and
but
then,
we-
yeah, well,
I think we
office
wanna
hours, but
extend
field
it.
hours.
Well, I think that's what we have to establish as far as, you know, what are their hours
That
that
we want to
consist of,
work.
and what is their true job title gonna be?
mhm.
And that software,
You know,
would that be better to wait?
let the new guy
Let
get
the
it,
new guy get his feet
Decide what
wet,
he wants.
and
and
maybe.
then let him or her decide
Mhm.
if
Then
it's,
if we don't budget it, if he just wants something like that, he won't know.
yeah, so you have to wait a year.
That's. No,
Yeah.
thoughts on the software?
Have to wait a year, but then how productive.
I think the new software that they want is really gonna be really good for the department though. I mean, this is software that keeps pretty much everything, building permits, you know, everything's gonna be on a computer now. Applications, it's gonna be very, very computerized instead of everything handwritten as it is today. I think I don't care who goes in, I mean, I think that's real important. I think that we need to get into the,
But everything goes in the
Times
computer
are-
now, right?
a little bit, but not
But-
nearly as much as gonna if we buy this program.
But there is capability of putting stuff in the computer now.
If we develop the programs ourselves, yes. There's a few things that Veronica has done that has been very nice as far as building applications, et cetera. She has developed her own little program for it, but this is gonna be able to coordinate with Pat also. It's supposed to integrate both software programs so that they can pretty much talk to each other, and when she puts something in, the codes officer can actually go in and find it. I mean, I know the town of Morris has it, the town of Champlain has the same program, and, I mean, I think it's just bringing us up to speed with,
Sounds like a program that will allow them to be right on top of everything as far
I
as.
mean, if we're gonna
Right.
make that department a lot more efficient, I can say that.
Mhm.
So we're leaving,
So
or are we
let's-
changing the,
I think that I mean, my opinion is.
3 to
that we should-
4, are we
need to
leaving
keep
that?
them just until we find out who this, I mean, codes enforcement officer is gonna be, and, I mean, we definitely need to get somebody that's computer literate, and then possibly do away with it. It's only, you know, we can do away with that position anytime. It's not like she's set in stone, I mean, we would, yeah.
Can I look at
Yeah,
that?
sure.
so,
Has anyone checked into the schooling for the code officer? If the state would reimburse that like they do for the assessors, because it's mandatory? the state pays for all the assessor's training. I don't know if anybody's looked into that, but now that it is mandatory, the state may reimburse the town for the training, or continuing again.
Well, we've been budgeting to pay for her continuing ed.
You get reimbursed from the state. If you pay her zero or something, it gets a check back from the state for the training.
We do?
For, we
Pat,
Pat?
she doesn't put it in for much schooling, so I was assuming it.
she may bill directly right to the,
Yeah, she
right to the
does.
state.
I can check it out, I don't know who I would call for that, but I'll find out. The question mark
Who's
on
the
it.
schooling hinged around here? The 2,500,
That's for,
both of them?
no, that's for a codes officer.
Okay.
We've had that in there for.
Now, is he required
Now,
so many hours?
this schooling also, this schooling also
Yeah.
is, this schooling also, just to let everybody know though, is for his New York City trip also, so there's $1,200 of that.
Mhm.
That's for New York City, which we could get rid of the $1,200
Yep.
for this year.
Everybody else has removed it, so.
So let's remove $1,200 from that. So we'll bring that down to 1,300 instead of 2,500.
Now, the 4,000 for the office assistant, are we leaving that or bringing that back down to 3 where it was?
I think we
Or
should
leaving
leave it for the time being. If we get somebody that's,
To get the new person up to speed?
yes, and, then we can adjust.
So we're taking the 1,200 out of the schooling now.
Right.
Right.
Now, is it common that the deputy supervisors get a stipend?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about sidewalks? We talked a little bit about that. Are we going to keep 7,000 in, or are we going to reduce it?
Doesn't take long to go through $7,000 of concrete and pay that.
No.
I know.
Yeah, we can get a lot done.
And,
But is that gonna be in our budget? Or is
What?
it gonna be in the highway budget?
I think it comes out of general, it's general fund.
The supplies too?
Yeah.
Now, the maintenance and gas
why did that jump?
from 600 to 2,600?
That was for the gas to get from the highway department, for the maintenance truck.
For Tom's truck?
Tom's truck.
It jumped 2,000.
Now, why was it, yeah,
But I brought in
Dickie
the,
brought in all those
Oh, okay.
receipts of,
yeah,
you know,
the gallons.
Gallons.
mhm.
and I think it was also for the recreation part.
The red parts are separate.
Yeah, but you brought those.
I
at the
had
same
those,
time.
I give Steve a copy of that every year, of everything that's
Mhm.
used.
So this is for our truck here, not
That's
not
good.
yours and,
This
No.
how many
is not-
trucks, do you have 2 trucks
To the town?
Yeah.
No, there's 4 pickups.
at the
If you
highway?
want, no, if you wanna call it that, yeah, they're jumpers.
Mhm.
We have an old van, an old 80, or 98 GMC and a van.
But yours is the only one, yours is the only one used on a regular basis?
No, the other one is, my old one is used also.
So the van and that old pumper that we saw, Jim's old truck? Is that,
The Conrad's old truck.
Or Conrad's?
Conrad's, or Gerald Seaman had it, I think he was there.
okay.
Yeah.
I
think that was one before.
I guess
I
what-
had gotten a different one.
another thing is on page 6 for the safety for animals. We put $1,000 in there this year for, what happens is if a pet gets injured, it's the town's responsibility to bring it to the vet to get treated. So the town has to pay for treatment for the dog if it's injured and put it up for adoption. And then
If the owner can't be found.
if the owner can't be found.
Yeah, euthanize.
And then the professional service at the $8,250, that's a service that we share with the town of Morris. And the state has it regulated where somebody has to meet certain qualifications and have approved facility to have the dogs. So that's a hard position to fill, and we're lucky to have that service available to our residents.
Because if not, Leo would have to do it.
Yeah. We add that to your job title, Leo?
Don't know the-
You're getting 3%, come on.
If we go to page 8, under programs for aging, we had 1,300 in there last year. I talked to Pat Never, who explained to me that they would not need that money this year, that they have enough money in their budget, in their checkbook. So I think we could actually go down to just leaving it open, and she said she would come back to us if she ever needed, us to put in another $1,000. So if we went from 650 to 100, or $50 even, just to keep the line item open, and then we could do that.
This,
Is that the same one, or is that a different
that's the
one?
same one that we take the flu shots on.
Oh, that's,
Yeah.
okay. Is it the same one though, as what we have for Pat, or is that a different one? For Pat, it's,
The seniors?
seniors. That's what maybe I'm mistaking it for. We have a line item that we had that we moved down, and
Where do you find that date?
for the seniors, we
We
had
had
given
given
them
the senior
$1,000
citizen
last
club
year.
$1,000 last year.
Yeah. I'm just trying to find the line, I thought that was the one.
That may be why we dropped it from 13 to 650.
Yeah, we kept 650, I think, for flu shots.
But is
Yeah,
that a
I
separate
think
one?
because it was less than 650 in the tentative, and then we brought it up, the fact we still have to pay for the flu, so we brought it back up.
Is it in the
to
same line though?
650. Yeah.
Okay,
Right.
all right, so we're
It's
good
six-
there
it's
then.
$650 for a
650.
flu shot.
Okay, all right. Didn't know they were on the same line.
Yes, we were told to thank Leo Alder for our flu shots.
He gave them to you?
No way, he thought he was telling everybody I was paying for them.
That was nice of you, Leo.
I know, yeah, you might want to thank Mr. Oliver. I wanted to get my money.
On page 9, where supplies is up from 3,600 to 5,000, do we know what that line is for?
I believe it was for some additional recreational items that Tom, I don't know who Chazy or,
Yeah, he's requested because he had to replace some equipment
he
or
wants to get some
something.
more, I believe he wants to get some more equipment for soccer or something, goalposts for this year, 1 or 2 additional goalposts.
I think because they have additional teams.
Yeah, they said, okay.
I think his last name,
Pedro.
Pedro, thank you.
Pedro.
Okay. Underneath the youth programs for the personal services, are they going up 3% as well? Because it was,
Around 500.
Something 19%.
you see that
The
line?
chairperson was up 7%.
Can you see it still?
Yeah,
Are they
Yeah,
going
I'd say we go 3%.
Yeah.
go 3% on those as well? So that's going to make their salaries at,
You have to check on what it was before. I think it was 12 something, 1200 something.
So it's gonna be for everybody?
Everybody,
that.
we're gonna do 3%, right, 3%. So we'll change those. The other one is do the historian.
Yeah, that would be 3% as well, right?
Yes, okay, if you do the historian at 3%, you're looking at $2,060 instead of $2,500. Or wait a minute, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong.
Yeah, you're right.
Is that right? Yes, okay. For historian, on page 9, we're going to $2,060 instead of $2,500.
That's why it's difficult using percentages. Percentages are way, way off. A man making $2,500 or $2,000, $500 raise is not out of the, as far as I'm concerned, even though it shows a 25% increase. $500 raise is not a pocketbook breaker.
You're talking about 3% raise on these?
Right, no, they didn't request it, we keep the same. No, there was an increase here though. The chairperson for town control, what was town control last year?
1,400.
Okay, so town teacher was in 1,400. Town teacher was the chairperson.
I think there's some of the extra was
On page 9, youth services.
now it can go along that comes out.
Yes, you were part of that. For historian, it's operation 4,500.
Those are all sub of that one number though, right?
It's all included.
That was a figure of 13,000.
They have to go find them here.
Yeah, we initially had asked for 17 and she dropped it until 5.
We're gonna have to look at this thing. We'll go through this with Sue for these chair positions. Because they don't seem to think we put the lawnmower in that same line also for West Easy.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the payroll.
Yeah,
Yeah.
She initially had put down 13,000 for that 7310.1, but then because we no longer deal, we used to have 500, I think, in there for lifeguards. Ooh, when they used to go to St. Herman's Beach and we never taken it out, so we took that out this year. That's why it went down to 12.5. So that covers the chairperson. Okay, at 1,500, it used to be 14.
14. So if we're gonna do 3% of that. It's 1442.
And then the others, I don't know how many coaches, it's just 350 each.
I don't think we
I went through everything 2 times before I came, so.
So why don't we, we'll recalculate. We'll have Leo recalculate everything and see how it changes and. You wanna set a meeting date for that? We have to have it in by the 20th, so we'll have to do another meeting.
You gotta get in touch with Bill, he's got it all.
Yeah, but gotta have to get the budget.
I got another meeting Wednesday night, we're gonna have another meeting,
You wanna do it next Wednesday again?
Isn't next Monday the planning board?
Wednesday's not a good night.
Oh,
Planning board.
Monday is a planning board meeting. Tuesday?
I could do it Tuesday, the 16th.
16th? Other meeting for adopting?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Can you do that, Jerry?
Yeah.
16th, Tuesday the 16th,
7 p.m.?
7 p.m. And we'll have everything redone and hopefully answers. I just want to remind everybody that the planning board meeting is on Monday the 15th, to make sure to be here, the board members, they want us to be here.
What time?
That is at 7 o'clock
7.
also, on the 15th. 15th.
Bill, I got another one Wednesday. Had one tonight.
So we're gonna need a resolution to do a special meeting for
I'll make a
16th.
motion for a special meeting on
second.
the 16th to adopt the 2011.
Counselor Dino made a motion, seconded by Counselor Devons, to have a special town board meeting on Tuesday, November 16th at 7 p.m. for the purpose of going over the budget again, hopefully adopt it. Roll call, Counselor Lattimore?
Yes.
Counselor Dino?
Yes.
Counselor Devons?
Yes.
Counselor Trombley?
Yes.
Supervisor Speed?
Yes.
I'd also like to make another comment on page 11 of the budget. There's a whole other section that's not really in our control. The state retirement fund went from 16.5 to 25.5. We have no control over that. That's a $9,000 increase. Workman's comp went up from 5,500 to 6,800. We have no control over that. Medical insurance was up $4,000, which I think is pretty good, and Staub worked very hard at keeping that number low. And also worked very hard at lowering our electrical costs by $6,500 by switching providers.
That's plan savings.
Right.
That also applies to the highway budget.
Right.
I'd like to mention. We're showing a 56% increase for our state retirement, 7% for workman's comp, and 16 for, the other way around, 16 for social security. 7 for social security, and 16 for workman's comp. So you're right, it's hit.
Okay, we have to go into executive session to talk about these applications. I believe. And personnel.
No other resolutions or?
We're gonna wait for the resolution because of the budget.
They're all budget.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you for coming, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. So what do you want to say, Spike?
Spike, yeah.
Right, that's what we would do, yeah, you're right, that's why we need to find out what that is. You should have been on 30%. He will. 10%? He's not right now. See you later, Dale. Behave yourself.
This is the first one I've been to.
We'll come next month.
We're getting that.
Really? I think you're right.
This is count.
Takes a shot, and it goes wide. Barry puts it right back in play, less than 40 to go in the second half. Knight's looking for a light goal to tie it up. Fuller will throw it in, 21 seconds. Northern Adirondack looking to keep their string of sectional titles alive. Misek plays it. 5 seconds. And that'll do it. Northern Adirondack remains the Section 7 Class C champions with a 1-0 victory over the Seton Catholic Knights in a very well played game by both teams on a cool night in the North Country, November 3rd, 2010. We're going to watch the awarding of the official trophy by Tim Mulligan, who is here as the sectional representative. So we have 2 of the 6 sectional champions decided. Keith Rains says, good luck, Tim. I'm out of here. The Class C's have been decided. It's Seton Catholic girls and the Northern Adirondack boys that will be advancing.
Ladies and gentlemen,
There's Tim Mulligan.
your attention to the 50-yard line. For the Section 7 boys, Representative Tim Holden will present the Class C title to the NAC Bobcats.
There we go. You got Trudeau, you got Lajway, and in between them was that 21, was it? Musso? Yep. Trudeau, Musso, Lajway. That's the way it was. November 3rd, 2010, Alsabo Valley Central School, beautiful downtown Clintonville. Viewer supported local television. We need your support, folks, if we're going to keep doing this, so how about it? Beautiful thing. That was one of the major inventions of the caveman, heat.
I've been grateful ever since.
Yes. More important than the wheel.
More, absolutely, absolutely. Well, Calvin, we're down to 3:40 to go here left in the game, and good hustle by number 25 for the Warriors, and that was Morgan Jacquish. So not giving up, and she worked hard. And we got a goal kick here.
Just wanted to touch the ball. Took it here. I'll toss it. I want to touch it.
And Catherine Took is 3 minutes and 7 seconds away from adding yet another shutout to her resume this year and the Chazy defense. And we don't want to just give all the credit to Catherine Took.
Obviously.
You gotta give it to that defense.
That hasn't allowed a shot.
Well, they allowed one. They've allowed one.
Sort of. The ball was in the box. It wasn't flying at the goal. I could have picked that one up.
It wasn't a hard chance. I want to get her into the game.
No move flip.
Yeah, there is.
No, not the tape on it. There's room in there for the scorekeeper.
We're talking. We're on the air. What we're talking about is what they moved the championship, the Class B championships. We're talking to Rob McAuliffe, and he said the possibilities are Osable Valley or Plattsburgh State. Calvin's rooting for the booth in Osable Valley, Do they have heat there too?
Nope, they got windows.
They got windows, and there's no wind hitting us.
Yep.
Okay. It's better than nothing.
Darn right.
I mean, we got a booth up here, but we don't have windows.
No.
I still think they should put plexiglass up here and a monitor heater up here, Calvin.
Or one of those sun heaters.
Sun
from
heaters, yeah,
Barcomb's
from Barcomb's TV. Yeah, they're a good sponsor of Hometown
That's
Cable.
right.
Sun heat from Barcomb's TV, and wouldn't be much electricity here. Well, let's see if I know anybody on the school board.
Well, we
that
wouldn't
could
have to
work on
run
that.
it. We'd probably start it up the night before the game.
Make it really nice and toasty here. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so we come in nice comfort.
Oh yeah. Maybe they have some Mickey fries waiting for us, and maybe a couple burgers.
Yeah. Let's work on that. If I knew somebody on the school board, I'd try to get them to work on that.
Well, if I knew they were worth their weight on the school board, I would. But, you know. I'm thinking, Calvin, it's gonna be the same thing next year. Actually, would plexiglass work okay here?
It'd be tough for the corners because if that'd be a situation where we can open the windows up
Yeah, yeah.
because they're close to the field here and it's tough to get the corners.
Yeah, it is. Well, we got 20 seconds left in the game here, and the Warriors' season will come to an end. And actually, they have 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, they only have 4 seniors. The goalie is a senior. Megan Jacquish is a senior. Courtney Blanchard a senior. Megan Jacquish and Erica Oliver are seniors for Elizabethtown. So their high school careers come to an end. And Chazy will move on to the next round as they beat Willsboro 7-0. And I'm Joey Trombley calling the game. Calvin Castine on the camera. It is election night, November 2nd, 2010. And as Calvin likes to say, that's the way it was in beautiful downtown Chazy. Had the over-under at 14 goals in the game, so.
Good move by Pelton. Good defense. And who's number 8, Joey?
Number 8 would be Roche.
Roche. Doing a good job defending. I said,
It was Roche, now it's Roche.
Yeah, I got Roche, yeah.
Pretty soon it'll be Benoit.
Oh, yeah, well, Benoit will be coming out on the field there. I'm surprised you won't be here to call that one, Joe.
I'm going to.
Oh, you're going to call it?
Sure, it'll be a great game.
I thought you said you had to leave.
I do, but I can come back and
You can come back and help Calvin? All right.
Because
All
it's that's a game I want to see.
A nice play by Botten. Doesn't get rattled.
Nah, he's Mr. Smooth. Very similar style to Reynolds. You know, just nice pass too. Beautiful pass.
Did his job. Well, we're approaching the 3-minute mark, Joe, and
we picked the Butternut Squash Award winner.
Who'd you pick?
Wow, McCarthy. I got to give it to McCarthy this evening. He scored the first 3 goals.
First 15 minutes.
And just and you know what? 2 of them were sensational goals, but you can't have those sensational goals without the feed from Barry off the corner kick. Remember that one? He kind of popped it in the air and turned around and blasted.
Yeah.
What a great goal.
Yeah.
You know, a beautiful goal. That was the first goal, and the second goal from Lauren was another beautiful goal. And it's just Lauren feeds, makes some nice passes as well as scores goals. They both work hard.
Look at this. Oh, jeez, he drilled
nice
that.
Save.
Oh, but the way Radu just walked in there.
That was
I don't know if we pointed out there's a new keeper in there. I don't think we got his name.
Yeah, we didn't, but there is a new keeper.
That was a good save.
It was a great save. The coach is laughing down there.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
What are you going to do?
Oh, that was a beautiful corner kick. Who kicked that? That was Sweet. That was a beautiful corner kick from Sweet. Another nice service from Sweet. Sweet should have been credited with a couple of assists here in this game. He got the nice goal.
Well, we got a minute 34 left, Joe. And
So I'll give the butternut squash. Or I got to split it actually between Lauren and McCarthy. Yeah, very good teamwork between those two tonight.
so we have butternut squash award
Yeah,
winner.
but they all played extremely well.
We'll mash it up.
They're gonna call a
I think this
handball
is
on
a first call that we've given out, I think.
No, I've split it here with the defenses before.
You've done that before?